Hello everyone, thanks for coming back to the channel. Today's video is entitled Negative SEO. Should Google do more? Keep watching and I'll give you my thoughts after the break. Hi everyone, negative SEO. Should Google do more? I hope you're sitting comfortably because this is quite a large topic. And there's a number of questions I'm going to be answering in today's video. If you haven't subscribed already, click subscribe. If you haven't clicked like, smash the like button and then prepare to listen. Take notes, pause the video wherever you want to, look at the description box, and then you can take in the full entirety of what I'm trying to communicate to you about a very controversial topic and one that doesn't get discussed that much online. So, here's a preview of the questions I'll be answering in today's video. What is negative SEO? What is positive SEO? Why do companies use negative SEO? What tool does Google make available to combat negative SEO? What's the reality like for a website under a recurring SEO, negative SEO attack? Should Google do more? Okay, let's get started. What is negative SEO? Negative SEO is the opposite of positive SEO. Positive SEO, let me just explain how SEO works. So two elements within SEO. There's on-page SEO and off-page SEO. In this respect, we're talking about off-page SEO. So backlinking. If you're a business website and you get a link from a very high authority site like the BBC or Business Insider or CNN or ITV or something like that, then that will help the ranking of and also the authority of your own website. So a high authority website will bring up the reputation of your website and will help drive more traffic as a response to search engine inquiries. You'll rank strongly, hopefully on the first page, hopefully high up the first page, and then you'll get a lot of traffic from search engines because of that. So that's when there's a positive impact by backlinking. You could say positive backlinking has resulted in you having more traffic. More traffic should, given that if your website's set up in the right way, and you have the right landing pages and so on, more traffic should lead to more leads, which should lead to more customers. So that's positive SEO. High authority websites will drive up the search engine results and the inquiries that come to your website. Negative SEO is, as you can imagine, is the opposite. So one of your competitors may say, hey, this company is doing very well, they're ranking very well in our area of operation, they're taking traffic and they're taking potential business away from us, so we're going to hit them with negative SEO. We're going to attach lots of spammy backlinks, and these are often related to medications such as Viagra, lots of medications actually, and also pornography or other sort of negative gambling, sometimes negative sectors that have nothing to do with your area of business. Now the benefit of these is that they will drive down you will no longer be perceived by Google and the other search engines as such a positive and suitable destination for search engine queries. So you've got these spammy backlinks attached to your site for Viagra and lots of other medications, then Google decides, we're not sending them any traffic anymore, we don't know what's going on with this website, let's send the traffic to other companies, and they may be lower down in ranking, but they may overtake you because of the negative SEO. So that's what negative SEO is, and it is widespread. Now Google doesn't talk about negative SEO very much, given the amount of negative SEO that goes on. I work with a lot of businesses and have an overview and help manage lots of different websites. And when a website is performing well and getting good search engine rankings, it obviously attracts the attention of its competitors. And one of those responses is to create content. So your competitors may create good content and try and get new positive backlinks in an organic sense, which is great. That's just fair competition. But some competitors don't want to play fair in that respect. They want to drive you down rather than driving themselves up. They want to drive you down with negative SEO. and they may contract a company in the UK or in India or in the Philippines to attach lots of negative spammy backlinks to your website, which will drive down your performance in terms of search engine rankings, and it will mean that you'll get less traffic, and less traffic should lead to less leads and less business for yourselves. That's in the minds of your competitors. So that is what negative SEO is, and it's relatively widespread, and it's not spoken about a lot online, and there are a number of reasons for that. Obviously small websites probably are not being targeted with negative SEO. You've got to be competitive in your sector before anyone's going to spend money to try and drive down your search engine rankings. So I suppose in one respect, if somebody's targeting you with a negative SEO campaign, you're obviously doing something right, and you're attracting leads from search engines, and Google and the other search engines are recognizing your website as a place with some authority and relevance for a lot of inquiries. And that's why one of your competitors, or maybe several of your competitors, have targeted you. So you could take that as a mark of respect for the work that you're doing. However, that doesn't get away from the problem that you're now going from, say, Google page 1 to Google page 7 or 8 or 9, or disappearing entirely, or perhaps even suffering a Google penalty because of these negative SEO spammy backlinks that are being attached to your site. Google did and has paid some attention to this historically. So in 2012, a guy who was the head of the anti-spam team on Google, formerly, so he's no longer there at the moment, I think he works for a different organization now, and his name is Matt Cutts, and he had a very famous video, 2012, very famous in SEO and content circles, that is, where he introduced a disavowal tool. Let me just click, and I'm not going to play the video, I'm just going to go out of full screen, exit full screen. I want to show you the screenshot. So this is, let's go back into full screen. I'm not going to play this video. This is Matt Cutts, and I'll link to this in the description. And in this video, Matt Cutts, formerly of Google, introduced the disavowal tool. The disavowal tool is a tool that allows you to analyze on a daily basis the backlinks attached to your website. As a website master, that is, as a webmaster, you can do this. You evaluate the website, the links attached to your website, and those that you deem to be spammy and want to disassociate yourselves with them, you disavow them. So you say to Google, I'm going to send you a file, and the file is going to contain all these links that have nothing to do with my business, that obviously somebody has attached to my website in an attempt to drive, to destroy my business and drive down the search engine traffic that we're getting, because traffic obviously leads to leads and then potentially to customers. So in 2012, as I say, this is a video, and I'll link to this in the description. Matt Cutts introduced a disavowal tool. Right, so you may think, oh well, you've got a disavowal tool. Doesn't that mean that everything's fine now? Let's go out of this view and exit full screen. Just want to go back to the to this page so that I can continue with my commentary. Okay, so the disavowal tool was introduced in 2012, as I've just mentioned, and Matt Cutts was the person introducing it. And that means that you can go into your backlinks. You can use a tool. There's a number of tools available on the market, and I'll talk about the tools. I'll mention the tools and that I use on behalf of my clients later. And I'll probably, there's a way of me being more specific about that, and I'll do that via the description. Okay, so the disavowal tool exists. Great. Negative SEO is an ongoing process for many websites. They're being attacked on a daily basis. So what does the daily routine look like for a website under attack from negative SEO? And I'll give you an overview of that. You may look at your backlink profile each morning and find that there's 100, 200, 300, 400 spammy backlinks. You then have to go through each one and say, this is nonsense, this is nothing to do with my business, I want to disavow this. So can you imagine, you're going through and looking at a profile of maybe 50, maybe 100, 200 spammy backlinks, and then saying, I don't want anything to do with this, and then disavowing them using the tool. Then you have to send that file. You've got a file of all the spammy backlinks. Send that file to Google. Great. You send that file to Google. Google has an updated record of the spammy backlinks that you've disavowed. So Google will not bear that in mind in terms of the ranking of your website for search engine results. You should maintain your positive ranking where you were before. Excellent. Next day, another 200 spammy backlinks have been attached. Not the same ones, a new bunch of spammy backlinks. As a webmaster or as a member of your SEO team has to go through all the spammy backlinks again and disavow them. And bear in mind, these may be different spammy backlinks to the ones that you disavowed yesterday. So now you can start to understand how much of a laborious process it is. If somebody is really attacking you and sending you thousands and thousands of spammy backlinks each day, somebody in your team has got to go through and disavow them every day. So it's not a perfect tool. It doesn't seem that you're getting so much help from Google. Obviously, the disavow tool helps to a certain extent. And if you're only experiencing just a few spammy backlinks a week or a month, no problem. You can just clean them up with the disavow tool, send the file to Google, and you're away. You're back in the game. But if you're under heavy attack, this can take a lot of time. Now, that's a problem or a realization I've reached on behalf of some of my client websites probably a few years ago. So, and I'm not at the forefront of combating negative SEO, and I shouldn't be. Obviously, it's the search engines can do this. So this is the problem for a website that's under daily attack from a negative SEO. There's still a lot of work to be done to clean up the website, make sure that Google and the other search engines recognize that these backlinks linking to Viagra and all these sort of medicines or pornographic sites or gambling websites are not anything to do with your website. So, next question, should Google do more? Well, I believe, and this is my personal opinion, I believe that Google should do more. Google is obviously the owner, and everybody and most people are aware of this. Google is the owner of YouTube, and on YouTube they use machine learning to be able to spot spammy comments. So if somebody comments on your video and leaves a link or trying to get somebody to subscribe or so it's a spammy link on your underneath your YouTube video in the comments, Google has tools to recognize that, and they identify that to content creators and channel owners. So they can do that already. They can also detect when your video has used copyrighted music and you don't have permission for that. They can do that using machine learning tools as well. So if I were to upload a new video and I'd used I don't know, some music from Drake or some music from any popular creator, musician that I didn't have permission for, within 24 hours, YouTube would identify that and they would flag that to me, and I would be given probably a copyright strike. So they do have tools available which allow them to automate the detection of spammy comments and also of copyright infringements. So given that that's happening, why can't they detect spammy links for websites? Because website owners who are, if you're, as I said, I used the example earlier, if you're an accountant or you're a lawyer, and that's your area of operation, corporate law or accountancy, then it's very easy to see that a link to a pornographic site or a link to a gambling site or a link to some site selling online medications is not relevant or appropriate. You can see that just from the link profile, and you can see that from any details contained in the site itself. So I believe that Google should be able to automatically, using machine learning, detect spammy backlinks and say, hey, is this a spammy backlink? We think these are spammy backlinks. We've not attached them to your website. Somebody is obviously setting them up, and then send you a communication saying, we've detected these 200 new websites or 200 new backlinks. We believe that these are spammy backlinks and therefore negative SEO. Therefore, we've not attached them to your website, or we're not going to recognize them as links to your website. Is this correct? And then the website owner will only need to say, perfect, Google, thank you very much. Yes, disavow all of those. It would be such a shorter process for website owners rather than having to go through every single one, check the link and disavow it. If Google can recognize when they are spammy, it will save website owners a lot of problems, a lot of time, and it will be a far more proactive way of dealing with it. And even a bigger objective, it may stop people using the tactic, because once you realize that, hey, Google is onto us and they know that we're just sending spammy backlinks to try and drive our competitors out of business, but Google has now counteracted that. Once people know that, they may stop doing it because it may be less effective. At the moment, it's still effective because it creates a lot of extra work for webmasters and website owners. So if Google to say, we've spotted these, we think they're negative SEO, therefore we're not recognizing them as links. If there's anything in there you want us to recognize, let us know. So then you might have to say, oh, this one is okay, the rest are rubbish. So that's my personal opinion. I think Google could do more, and that's why the name of this video was Negative SEO, Should Google Do More? I hope you've found this good food for thought. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful. Please give me a like. If you didn't give me a like at the start, please give me a like now. Click on my face to subscribe and click on one of the screenshots to watch another video. Thanks for watching. I look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye bye.